Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Chana, this is Jar of Fireflies, and here I make videos all about my life as an Orthodox Jewish homeschooling mother of 3. And today we're going to be trying something a little bit new, at least for my channel. I will be filming today what my family eats in a day, kosher edition. All right, so as an Orthodox Jew, all of the food that we eat is kosher. So I'm gonna be taking you guys through just a typical weekday day in the life of what we are eating during the day. Okay, so starting off earlier this morning, I woke up, came out and got some breakfast around sunrise for myself. Here's what I prepared.
So I went with a bagel this morning. I grabbed a Trader Joe's gluten-free plain bagel, and I just sliced that open and put that in the oven so that I could toast it. Just lightly toasted is how I like my bagels. I don't want to even see any brown on there. Oh, and for those that don't know, we are gluten-free because one of my children has celiac, so we just all keep gluten-free. All right, next I grabbed my tea. I went with the Pucka brand Love tea. It is quite delicious. It's absolutely one of my favorites, so I just prepared that and let that steep there. I also grabbed a big glass of water. And for what I'm going to spread on my bagel, I grabbed this Philadelphia brand garden vegetable cream cheese spread. It's super delicious and it's been on my mind a lot lately, so I bought it the other day and it did not disappoint. So I'm just going to spread some of that on my bagel. Not too much, not too little. You know, I don't want to go too crazy, but I do want it to be slightly substantial. And that is my breakfast.
A little bit later on after that, my boys woke up, one and then the other, but they ended up eating breakfast at the same time. They wanted cereal, so here's what they had.
So at this point in the week, we do still have some sugary cereal left over from Shabbat. So that's what the kids wanted for breakfast this morning. My younger son went with Cocoa Puffs, so I poured him a bowl of those. And my older son went with the Cocoa Dino Bites, which are basically the store brand name of Cocoa Pebbles. So I poured him a bowl of those. So my younger son did not want milk, so he was all set, but my oldest son did. So I grabbed some whole milk from the fridge and I just poured that into the bowl for him and was ready to bring that over to him at the table.
And then here, just a little bit recently, my daughter woke up and she requested cereal as well. So here is what she had.
So my daughter went with the Cocoa Dino Bites as well, and she also opted for no milk in her cereal.
Okay, so we usually don't snack in the morning, so I probably will put the camera down until about lunchtime when I will check back in with you again as I am preparing lunch for my kids. Hey friends, I am back and I'm getting ready for lunch. I did just have a snack of some tortilla chips, just like a handful of tortilla chips to tide me over until I can finish making the kids' lunch. So they are, what are they having? I'm gonna make some octopus hot dogs, and then for myself, I'm having some leftovers from last night. So last night I had made some onigiri for the kids. I made 3 different kinds. I made crab salad, I made teriyaki salmon, and I made these, which are salmon and avocado. So I just saved some of these leftovers, wrapped them up in saran wrap, put them in the fridge, and that is going to be my lunch. So I'm gonna pull these out so they're gonna get to be a little bit more towards room temperature, and we'll go from there.
So I set the onigiri there on the counter and started grabbing the other things that I was going to need to put the kids' lunches together. Okay, so this is just a regular pack of kosher hot dogs. They are all beef hot dogs. I forget which brand, probably Aaron's. I don't know. Sorry, I forgot to show the brand there when I was filming. But I'm just going to pull out 6 of the hot dogs in this pack. And I'm doing a thing that I saw on either like a YouTube video or Pinterest or some. It's kind of like a very Pinteresty lunch where I'm basically going to cut all of the hot dogs in half and then cut slices in about halfway across and then fry them up in a pan so that they look like octopus. So we'll see how this goes, if it actually works or not. But I've never done it before and I'm super excited to try this. So it took me basically no time at all to figure out that the knife that I had chosen for this project probably wasn't quite sharp enough. So I set that one down and I went and grabbed a knife from our knife drawer, which I rarely ever go in there because I pretty much do absolutely everything with a steak knife. But my husband has all these fancy sharp knives because he loves to cook, especially cooking meat and things like that. So I went and grabbed one of his knives, and that is what I'm using to cut the hot dogs, and that is working much, much better. Okay, so basically how I'm cutting these is I cut the hot dog in half, about halfway down, and then I cut it again so that it would be into quarters, and now I'm giving it a slice across each of those so that basically we have 8 sections that are cut. And surprisingly, I didn't cut off any legs when I was doing this on any of them. So they weren't as hard to cut as I thought they would be, and that's what they should look like. So now I'm just going to go through and do that to all of them. All right, so for the actual cooking of these little hot dogs, I'm just putting a skillet on the stove, pouring on some oil. I'm using olive oil, and then I'm just dumping those hot dogs into there. So I did go ahead and decide I would coat them all in the oil before I just let the pan sit here. The oil, like the hot oil, is what's supposed to make the little legs on the little hot dogs like kind of shoot out so they look more like little octopus. So we'll see how that goes. But while that's getting going, I came back over here so that I could start getting the rest of their meal together. I bought these plates many, many years ago, so unfortunately I don't know where I got them from if you are wondering, but they do have similar plates available on Amazon. Okay, so I am just adding 1 Oreo cookie to each of the plates. And now I'm just going to cut an avocado in half. My daughter absolutely loves avocados, so I decided her little side for her hot dogs would be half of an avocado. And then for the boys, I'm going to cut up an apple and split that between the 2 of them. I did peel the apple first because they usually like their apples peeled. Sometimes they don't care, but usually they do. So I just went ahead and peeled it. Okay, with those apples sliced up and on their plates, let's check back on those little hot dogs. Been a few minutes, but they are definitely starting to have their legs like poof out, so that's pretty cool. So I just kind of flipped them over a little bit so that the poofy legs were up and the flat legs were down so that they could get that hot oil going and they would all poof out here pretty quick, hopefully. Okay, so here we are just a few minutes later and they are looking good. This is so fun. I'm trying to think of like what else I could do with hot dogs like this, but these little octopus are so super cute. So once those were done, I just moved them off the heat and over near where the plates were, and then I started plating the little octopus hot dogs onto the plates.
Okay, I have to say I'm thoroughly impressed at how that turned out. Sometimes you see something like online or on YouTube and you're like, that's never gonna work for me. It totally did, and it was so easy. So yeah, definitely try this at home if you've got kids, or just if you're looking for a new way to eat hot dogs. I thought that was super fun. So big hit with the kids. They super enjoy these hot dog octopuses. So win all around on lunch. And now I can start eating my onigiri. Confession, I do not like the onigiri left over. I absolutely love them fresh, and I did eat some last night and they were delicious. Do not enjoy them left over. Not even a little bit. So I'm gonna find a plan B on my lunch. Okay, so I just went and looked in the pantry and I did find some Trader Joe's brand creamy tomato soup. It's even organic. So I'm gonna make this for myself, and that is what I will eat.
This soup was dairy, so I grabbed my one little dairy saucepan and poured the soup in there and just warmed it up just till it was warm. I really don't like my soup to be super hot, so just got it hot enough to eat. I did consider making myself a grilled cheese, or at least like some cheesy toast in the oven, something to kind of dip in here, but I opted not to because I was really too hungry to mess with making more food. I did add just a little sprinkling of cheddar cheese on top of my soup just to give a little something extra, and I was good to go.
Okay, so apparently that lunch wasn't quite enough for my kids because almost immediately they were still hungry. So they waited a little bit until I finished up my soup, which was delicious, by the way, and then I got them a little bit more food to eat. Here's what they grabbed.
So my daughter grabbed an apple since she didn't get one at lunch, though she was very happy with her avocado at lunch. And the boys each picked out a Cliff Bar, which is a rare treat because usually these are like my Cliff Bars. I like to put these in my purse for a snack, but I let them have one today and they were thrilled.
Okay, now it's coming up on 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock is a pretty standard snack time in my house because otherwise I am so convinced my kids would eat the entire day long. So for snack, I am gonna have some chocolate covered raisins and some cottage cheese because I am actually hungry now. I don't necessarily eat at their snack time, but today I am. And then I'm gonna put together some different snacks for the kids based on what they feel like eating.
Here are the chocolate covered raisins and the cottage cheese that I got. The raisins are from Costco and the cottage cheese I ordered from Amazon Prime. Okay, so for the snacks, my son wanted to have some of his fake crab, this imitation crab. This is the brand we use. A lot of people have asked me about it. It is kosher and gluten-free. So I'm just grabbing him a few sticks of this imitation crab. I'm going to open those up and put them on the plate for him. Now, because my kids had meat for lunch, my oldest son is going to keep his snack dairy-free, but my little two don't have to wait quite as long before they eat dairy, so they are having dairy. So their kind of main course that they picked out was some vanilla yogurt. So I'm just going to open these up and put them on the plates for them. And they all wanted to have some bread with butter, so I grabbed this Smart Balance. It's a dairy-free butter substitute, and I'm putting that on top of some Canyon Bakehouse bread, I think is the name. So my son is done, and the other two also I added half an apple to each of theirs, so they're having bread, yogurt, and apples, and my oldest is having the crab and the toast. Because all my kids are involved in the decision of what goes on their plates for their snacks, they do end up eating everything, and that's always good because no food goes to waste.
Okay, so the kids are eating their snack now. I just finished mine, and now I will turn the camera off until dinner time, I guess. See y'all in a little bit.
Okay, first of all, I have absolutely no idea what is going on with my camera. I don't know why things look a little foggy there, but I am sneaking into the laundry room while the kids are busy playing to grab myself a little chocolate ice cream mid-afternoon pick-me-up. It's somewhere between snack time and dinner time, and I just felt like this was a really good idea while the kids were playing so nicely and being busy. So yeah, I just snuck here into the laundry room where we have a freezer where we keep things like ice cream, and yeah, I'm just gonna have just a few bites, not too much, probably not even a full actual serving, or maybe close to it. I think actual serving sizes of ice cream are fairly small.
Okay, and I'm back and ready to make dinner. All right, my original plan for dinner tonight was to do pasta, and that's because I thought we were going to be spending the day out at the park with friends. Didn't end up happening today, and that is totally all right. I do know that we're gonna be spending the whole afternoon outside tomorrow with my mom, so I decided to switch and do the pasta tomorrow night because that'll just be really easy and quick to put together once we get home from being out of the house all day. And today I'm gonna be making a breakfast for dinner. I'm super excited about this, and so are the kids. So I'm gonna start putting this together and take you guys along. Let's go.
All right, for our main course for dinner, we're going to have this Kinnick brand of pancakes. We've never tried this before. Super stoked to give that a try. And we've got some maple syrup from Costco that will go on our pancakes. I'm going to be using this canola oil spray, also from Costco, to make sure that the pancakes don't stick to the pan. And then we just got some eggs that my husband picked up from the store. I'll make scrambled eggs with those for me and the kids. And then I've got some of this Beyond Meat breakfast sausage. It's a vegan sausage, so no actual meat in the sausage, but it tastes really good. And I've just got 4 patties of that left, so I'm going to start out by getting those going because they are frozen and that will take a little bit of time to cook. And I want the pancakes to be super fresh, so I want those to go on the stove last. So while those are cooking, I'm just going to get started with the pancake mix. I doubled the serving size because there are a lot of us eating, and my kids, they can down some pancakes, you guys. So I'm using 2 cups of the mix, and then I just need to add a little bit of oil and water to that. I appreciate that this mix does not require an egg. Most of the pancake mixes we use do require an egg, and I don't have that many eggs left. I wanted scrambled eggs, so that was helpful. All right, as soon as I started mixing this, I realized that I forgot to double the water that I put in, and, because I had doubled the amount of pancake mix. So I added some more water and was quickly able to get that stirred up, and I gotta tell you, I'm loving the texture of this pancake mix already. So I went ahead and sprayed the pan with oil, and then I'm just going to leave that there while I deal with the eggs and the sausage. So the sausage isn't quite finished yet, so I decided to go ahead and crack open my eggs and check them and make sure there's no eggshells or blood in there. I rarely ever find blood in the eggs. If I do, then I can't use them, but I do end up with eggshells in there like all the time. So the kids are getting whole eggs, and then I'm doing just egg whites for myself because that's how I like to eat my eggs. All right, once I had those eggs done, I went back and checked the sausage again. It was definitely time to flip, and the pan was nice and hot, so I knew that those were going to cook really quickly now. While the other side of those sausages were cooking, I went ahead and set out some plates for us so that as the food was ready, I could go ahead and just start plating it there on actual plates, because I was going to use the same pan again here for the scrambled eggs. I did ask everybody who wants what, so I knew what to put on each plate. So I started with my eggs, the egg whites, in the pan first, and that's because of like the sausage residue and stuff in there. The kids wouldn't like that in their eggs. If they see like the, any kind of brownish or blackish in there, they're going to be like, what's that? We don't like that. So I'm cooking my eggs in there first and setting those on my plate, and then I'll spray it with a little bit of oil and then put in the kids' eggs. I always put the eggs in whole like this, and then I just kind of break up the eggs and mix it together as we cook, instead of going ahead and like scrambling them, I guess, before I would put them in. And I did add a little bit of salt to my eggs and to the kids' eggs just to enhance that flavor a little bit. 2 of my kids did want cheese on their eggs, and I went ahead and thought that's not such a bad idea, and I added that to my eggs as well. All right, pancake time. I turned the skillet on and started putting the batter in the skillet for the pancakes. Spilled a little bit, got smarter, and started putting the bowl over the pan after that. I thought I was going to make these cute little mini pancakes, but they actually spread out into fairly decent sized pancakes, so that was nice. Once I had that first batch of pancakes ready, I went ahead and added those to the kids' plates. I decided I'd wait a little bit longer for mine. But before I served it, I did go ahead and start the second batch of pancakes cooking, just so they would be ready a little bit faster once I called the kids all in to eat. Right before I served the kids their food, I added a little bit of syrup to their pancakes. Definitely not a job they can do on their own. It doesn't turn out well when they do it. Okay, if you take a look at the forks on the table, I had set the table, or at least set the forks on the table before I thought about the cheese for their eggs, and those are our meat forks. So it doesn't matter for my son, my oldest there, because he does not have dairy on his plate. But luckily, I did catch it for the kids really quickly, so they now have different forks. So I was able to catch that before they actually use them and get some dairy forks on the table for those of us who had cheese on our eggs. So that was a close one. But if we did mess up, it's a pretty simple solution, and I will link a video in the description box where I show you how we are able to re-kasher things like silverware when we make a mistake, such as putting a meat fork in a bunch of cheese.
Oh my gosh, that pancake mix, we have all agreed, is our favorite pancake mix of all time now. Like, gluten-free or not, that thing was good. Wow, okay. So now I have to figure out where I can get that locally, because that was sent from Canada from a subscriber. Thank you so much, by the way. Wow, so yeah, that was delicious. We had a fantastic dinner. Everybody finished their plates. I'm super stoked about that. And that's really it for us for the evening. We tend not to eat again after dinner, no matter what time we eat dinner, really, unless people are up like really late at night and my husband starts cooking, then we might snack in on that later as well. But probably that is not gonna happen tonight. So I'm gonna go ahead and call this video a close here. Thank you all so much for coming along. I do hope that you enjoyed this. If you did, please give this video a thumbs up, hit that like button so that I know that you enjoyed. And if you have not yet subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. I would love to see you here again. All right, and with that, I'm gonna call this one a close officially. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you in my next upload. Okay, so they're enjoying their snacks and I've just enjoyed mine. So I'm gonna go take a break and I will turn the camera back on here. Yeah?
You did not film me, I did not eat.
Do you want me to film you eating?
Yeah.
Okay, so now I have to figure out where I can get that locally. Guys, give me just 1 second. So now I have to figure out